Hello, it's Gordon here, and this Facebook Live I've called RIP Stephen Hawking and Jim Bowen, because that's a bit of an odd combination. They both passed away today, and there's been a few people passing away lately who are not only famous but iconic. Had Roger Bannister, Ken Dodd, and we had Trevor Bayliss. I've not done a video about Trevor Bayliss, which I will do in due course. And this morning found out about Stephen Hawking, and then later in the day Jim Bowen, and there are little connections that I'll talk about today. And you might be thinking, well, why don't we talk about these people while they're alive? Why are they not celebrated while they're alive? Well, truth of the matter fact is that they are celebrated while they're alive. They either have knighthoods or honours, or the fact that they are famous and iconic means that they are celebrated while they're alive. And of course, clearly you can't talk about everybody who is alive all the time. There's only so many hours in the day. So sometimes when they pass away is the time to celebrate them and remember them and remind ourselves of what they did and the possibilities that they've showed for all of us. So Stephen Hawking, famous professor, mathematician, I can't even say it properly, mathematician, physicist, author of A Brief History of Time. And in 1963, when he was only 21, he was diagnosed with motor neuron disease and was given 2 years to live. That was in 1963, and he's passed away today in 2018. And with all the quotes I've seen today from Stephen Hawking, I was struck by how poetic he actually was with his words. There are a few quotes of his which struck me today. I'm smiling because the one I'm going to go with is this one. And it says, he said, "I've noticed that even those who claim that everything's predestined and that we can do nothing to change it still look when they cross the road." Superb. And he had a dry sense of humour, and that is quite poetic. He also said, "Look up to the stars and not down at your feet. Be curious. There is always something that you can do and succeed at. It matters that you just don't give up." Now they're poetic words, and I was surprised. I hadn't come across those quotes before. No reason why I would be surprised, I suppose. But I guess I'd imagined that he was quite dry in the physics and the maths, and there's some poetic words for his. And if that quote about even people who say that everything is predestined look before they cross the road could have been a quote from Ken Dodd, who died earlier in the week. And talking about Jim Bowen, who British people will know, I'm not sure anyone will know him outside Britain, a comedian who presented a famous light entertainment dart show called Bullseye, and he was a catchphrase king. Super great smashing, look what you could have won, when he tells the contestants that they failed to win a speedboat, even when they live in the middle of the country. He was a deputy headmaster at school before he started to get into comedy. And what made him get interested in comedy was he saw a Ken Dodd show. In fact, he saw 2 Ken Dodd shows over the course of a couple of nights, lasting 7 hours in total, because Ken Dodd, even back then, was famous for his marathon shows. And Jim Bowen saw Ken Dodd for 2 nights and decided, I want to do that, because he realised that the effect that Ken Dodd, one man with words, the effect he had on these massive audiences. And Jim Bowen said, wow, that must be some sort of feeling. If he can do that to that kind of audience, I'm going to have a go at that. And he learnt Ken Dodd's act and then went into comedy and built up his act and built up his career during the 1960s in the northern clubs. Now, it's not easy working the northern comedy clubs, but in the 60s there were plenty of opportunities, so he honed his trade. And then he was on a TV show called The Comedians, which had a lot of these northern club comedians and put them on television. And as a result of that, he got the job hosting this television darts entertainment show on television, which ran for whatever it was, 15 years, and at its peak would get 17 million viewers, which in Britain is a massive television audience. So he seeped into the public consciousness. He saw something he wanted to do, decided he was going to do something about it, took action, worked hard, and did something about it. And Stephen Hawking, who was born on the 300th anniversary of Galileo's death and has died today on Albert Einstein's birthday, and it's also Pi Day today. The mathematical function of pi is celebrated on the 14th of March because the Americans call that 3-14, and 3.14, etc, etc, etc is this number pi, which talks about the relation between the circumference and the diameter of a circle. It's a key element of mathematics. So of course that interested Stephen Hawking. So Stephen Hawking, Galileo and Einstein all have important milestones on this day, and all of those people changed the world with ideas and thoughts. Nothing else. Ideas and thoughts which they managed to formulate into words and then did something about it, because they didn't just tell these words to themselves or to their close circle. They went out and put those words out to the wider world to express their thoughts and ideas, which may have been ridiculed and dismissed at the time, but have changed the world. Now, if those three people can change the world with thoughts and ideas expressed in words and then put into action, and Ken Dodd and Jim Bowen can bring laughter, which is hugely important to the world, if they can bring laughter via thoughts and ideas put into words and then acted on, doesn't that show that anyone can do the same? That means that I can, and that means that you can. I love thoughts and ideas, and as Stephen Hawking says, be curious. I love hearing something or finding out something and then thinking, you know what, I'm going to go and investigate that a little bit further to find out if it's true. And if it is true, to find out some background to it. And then if I'm satisfied that it's true and I'm interested in the background, I'm going to use my words to put that story across to others, which is what these Facebook Lives are about. I've soaked up that information and I'm not reading from notes. I'm just, well, waffling is the word I like to use. I'm just using words as they come to me to express the stories. I love that idea. I love that it can change my life. It has done on many times previously, where I've had thoughts and ideas and I've expressed them in words and acted on them and made changes in my life in the past. It means that I can do it anytime I choose to in the future. And of course, so can you. So can anyone. So how long have I been going? 10 minutes. I'm quite short today, aren't I, for a Facebook Live? Even though I normally aim for about 10 minutes, I normally go miles over with my waffle. So yes, thinking about Stephen Hawking, who's passed today, and thinking about Jim Bowen, who's passed today. I do like words. I do like a poetic flourish to words, and I've very much enjoyed discovering these poetic flourishes that Stephen Hawking had with his words to go along with the maths, to go along with the physics. So yes, the thoughts and words that you have, can you express them in words? Because once you can express them in words, not only to yourself, which is important, but to the outside world as well, then you really are setting yourself up to basically, I'm going to say, achieve whatever you want to achieve. Now that might sound corny. I'm going to say it anyway because it's true. You certainly can't achieve, let's put it like this, you certainly can't achieve what you want to achieve if you're not able to express your own thoughts, ideas in words and then take actions on it. You're going to have to be able to do that if you're going to achieve what you want to achieve. So there we are. It's Gordon Bryant signing off from now. I hope all is well with you. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment below the video. Wishing you, as ever, health and happiness, and I will speak to you again soon.